Hey everybody, Alton here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad that you could join me. Now, for quite a while, I have been a fan of four-wheel drive vehicles, having owned 4 of them over the last decade or longer. I really enjoy driving over rocks with big tires. I mean, what guy doesn't? Today, I have, I think, a purpose-built watch, much in line with something like a four-wheel drive Jeep, and it is this Bertucci in front of me. It is lent in by Guillaume, who is Papa Gritch EDC. Check him out in the link below. But why don't we check out this watch, see if it's any good. So what I'd like to do is get into the specifications and the pros and the cons, and then take a look at this watch and say, is this something that you might actually want to buy? So this watch is 40 millimeters wide, 50.2 millimeters lug to lug, 10.6 millimeters thick. It has 22 millimeter lug openings. It's 100 meters water resistant, and interestingly enough, it is made of aluminum. Now, the crystal is a mineral crystal, which is one of the downsides to this particular watch, but actually the interesting thing is that the crystal sits below the case, which is a great design for a purpose-built rugged watch like this. The movement is a Japanese quartz movement. The strap is made of nylon. It has a 4-year battery life and a warranty of 3 years. And you can pick up one of these watches for $119 US. So I think that is a great deal. So what are the pros of this watch? Well, first of all, one of the things that I really love about this watch is that it is built to purpose, like a Jeep, like the new Ford Bronco. It is designed for a reason, and that reason is rugged. This is not the kind of watch that you're going to be wearing with a suit. This is the kind of watch you're going to wear when you're out in the field, fishing, hunting, four-wheel driving, whatever it is you want to do. That's what this watch communicates. It is built to a purpose. You can see that particularly in the case. It has a nice matte case. I'm not going to say it's bead blasted, as it is aluminum, and I'm not exactly sure you can bead blast aluminum, but it does have that nice texture where you're not going to worry too much if you happen to drag it on a rock, scratch it up a little bit. There's no high polish here to get marred. It's also legible, which I really appreciate. When you look at this watch, you can tell the time at a glance. There's no second guessing. You know exactly what's going on. There's no date to confuse you. There's minimal text on the dial. The big 3, 6, 9, and 12 gives you your orientation right away. And every minute is marked, which I really appreciate. I also think that it is fantastic that it has integrated lugs. You can tell that this is a purpose-built watch. You cannot take these spring bars off because they are not spring bars. But what you can do is you can slip off this nylon strap very easily. Pull that down, and within seconds, you can have a whole other strap on your watch, just like that, which I think is pretty cool. Now, the benefit to having the spring bars integrated into the case is that you're never going to lose a spring bar. So it comes on a single pass strap. It's quite a nice strap, actually. It's got a pretty standard buckle system to it. Lots of good stitching. It's heavy duty. I quite like that at the end of the strap, you see there's a couple bumps on the end. So that way it's not going to slide out or slip off. Now, if you were to go with something like a more traditional NATO style strap, you're never going to lose this watch. No matter what you're doing, this watch will be on your wrist. You would have to be hanging upside down by this material. You're more likely to lose your wrist than lose the watch. And so this watch is purpose-built. I think that's a big pro in its favor. Secondly is the comfort of this watch. The proportions are great. 40 millimeters by 50 millimeters. Now, it might seem long lug to lug, but let me show you what it looks like when you put it down on a table. Now, you can see it actually sits off of the table, which is a unique design. And that means that it just sits ever so nicely on your wrist. It conforms to your wrist. So if you can't pull off a 50 millimeter lug to lug, I bet that you could pull this one off. I really do. Unless you have maybe a 6-inch wrist, then maybe it's a little too long, but for a lot of wrists, this is actually going to work for you. And it's also comfortable because it's lightweight, super lightweight. It's made of aluminum. I have a Timex made of aluminum and I love it. I wear it out in the field all the time and that's just fantastic. It's a great material for a watch that is purpose built. Now let's look at the cons of this watch. I think the big con for me is that the design and the choices here are going to be polarizing. Some are really going to love the case. It's very, very circular, very blocky, very squared off in its circularness, if that makes any sense to you. The bead blasted nature, the coloration, it's a very grayish tone to the case. So you're going to really either love it, I think, or you're going to hate it. I know Guillaume loves this watch. If you tend towards dress watches, you're probably not going to like it. But I'm going to guess the Jeep crowd is actually really going to dig this style. I think another con is the integrated lugs. Now I know I listed it as a benefit, but it all depends on who you are and how you want to wear it. So if you really, really favor two-piece straps, you're not going to get that with this. You're going to be stuck with NATO's or single pass NATO style straps. So that means you have less choice, less flexibility. And for me personally, I think that's a con. I would rather have spring bars and be able to pair this with a cool two-piece canvas strap, for example, but that's just me. Your mileage may vary. So what do I think of this watch overall? I think it's a great watch. $119, I think you're getting a lot. You can spend a lot more at a department store on a way, way less rugged, less well-built, and less purpose-built watch, that's for sure. So I think this is a winner. If it's your style, if it's something you're into, I think you would really enjoy Bertucci. In fact, I'd recommend anyone picking one of these up, maybe not this model, but a Bertucci in general, just to check them out at some point and just see if it's something that interests you. And if it doesn't, I think this would make a great Christmas gift to that person in your life who's a hunter or a fisherman or an explorer, someone who likes to get out there into the wild. I bet you that they would really like this watch. Well, I'd like to thank Guillaume for passing this watch along, and of course, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. I really appreciate it, appreciate all of your support and just how awesome you folks are. So I hope you got a little bit of knowledge from this, and if you're interested in the watch, do check it out. I make no commission on any of this. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day.